It's
You don't
me.
need to bring innocence into this.
This is advanced suit. That suit's fire.
You just keep on coming back, Norman. I'll keep on knocking you down.
Not a bad one. Oh, damn, that was straight. That was quick. Damn. Bo did one combo.
Wow, you are a real genius.
This
dude.
suit is fire.
I've made all of these suits and
Oh shit. A comic book
never
shader version?
once thought of adding a green miniskirt. How's this?
On it.
Just look at this beauty. Think you're a genius, Doom?
This shit is sick.
Well, this is my genius. If you were smart, you would have gotten out of the way.
Cool. Let's look at this hole. This guy got announced ages ago. The World Breaker.
Hulk can do anything. You can't beat Hulk.
Can Hulk really do anything?
Hulk just wants to be left alone.
Oh wow. His normals look okay. Ignorant as fuck, is he? Oh damn. Damn.
Why you no leave Hulk alone?
Whoa! Hold on. Whoa. Who enters the armor state? Partway through it? What? Dude, we got it on yet. And it knocks away? That's brain dead. That's brain dead. It shouldn't have it on startup. Oh, there's another version. Unique to Hulk, the gauge changes after Gamma Spark or during the opponent's attacks. With Hulk skills, who enters the Gamma Rage state using Gamma Spark while the icon is at level 3. During Gamma Rage, he gains extra speed, damage, and skills. Gets major power-ups. So the other enhanced one's a meter. Wait, let me see it. What? So this one works, but oh nah, that's crazy. You can't use lows on it either? But for the second version you can. The fuck? His model takes up almost a third of the screen. Wait, what's unblockable? What? If they're not blocked, then it's unblockable. Why? Why is it unblockable? On a punch. Oh my god, I actually got range to it. Wait, but like, is it only on the charge version? Armor support through type comes unblockable when opponent is not currently. That's fucking crazy. We were gonna make setups for that. Both collapses hand generate shockwave. Both the strike and the shockwave negate projectiles on contact. Okay, so projectiles is just useless against this guy. If you press H again, the second version to it, there's a follow-up, whatever, the medium version as well. And Gamma Rage, blah, 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 blah. This is an armor state pouring through. Okay. Interesting. Really clapping it. What's that range on the second one? He has a full bounce. Oh shit. He's not a grappler. It's Hulk smash, not grab. He just has fuckloads of armor though. What y'all think about his theme? Wait, the enhanced version can't get anti-aired? That's not a 2H though. That's his stand heavy. Go on non-throw attacks. The fuck is this? Pretty good theme. This is DP. Oh, there's a slam to it. Oh shit. Cool. Violent charge. What's this? Oh shit. Oh shit. The second part that looks sick. Donkey Kong ass move. Wow. Oh, shake and fall with it. That's pretty crazy. His Gamma Charge MVC? Didn't play it, so I don't know what that is. The fuck is this? This is down input. He has an overhead from it. Oh shit. Damn. That's just as he rolling. Oh shit. Oh, this second part of his theme is fire. The stomp, okay. That's not that crazy. What's his back assist though? Oh, it's that? That shit got armor. Damn. Rampage. Oh shit, damn. Oh, if he's in Gamma Rage, it changes. Oh, I'm scared for what they're gonna do for his level 3. Is he just gonna be permanent Gamma Rage? Or is he just gonna put him in it for extra long? What the fuck? If Helga's is not already in Gamma Rage level increases to max after this tag. Okay. Gamma Bomb. What the fuck? That shit is crazy. That shit is sick though. World Breaker reference. They did not have to start his combo video like that. Oh my god, he's clapping his shit. Oh, the enhance into super. Oh my god. This animation is so funny. What the fuck? Wow, they did a good job, bro. He looks ignorant as shit. I like how all of them start from countering with armor or something. Teamwork. Holy shit. Damn. Ballin'. Ballin'.
Always win.
Wow.
I'll smash everyone!
That was pretty sick. We still have more, but whatever. That was pretty sick. So next is like what? Well, I assume that like the Universal Champion and the other are playable, but I have no fucking clue, bro. Next is Carnage, Loki, Deadpool, yeah. Probably just Carnage. Give me Deadpool. I'm gonna say tomorrow's gonna be Carnage. Or maybe they say Carnage for last. That's a pretty big one, huh? Or Deadpool will be last. I don't know. I'd say Carnage will be last for Deadpool. I don't know. These are all pretty big ones for the last ones, no? Deadpool definitely last. There's no order they're going in or anything. They're just dropping them randomly. Because if there was an order, Blade wouldn't have been so early. Well, they definitely got everyone out before the beta. And they barely even got Goblins out. Goblin didn't even come out before the beta. Did I even watch Goblins? Did I even watch Goblins? I don't remember if I even did. I'm pretty sure I didn't because his came out during the beta. I didn't watch Goblins. They trolled. I would have watched it if it was whatever. Whatever, bro.
I'm here to party. You're here to die.
Cool colors. But that black one's sick.
Just warming up.
Very fitting theme. Whoa.
I hope you survive.
I do need to watch it because I need to understand how his kit works. Oh, he's a meter to it. I know it was a meter. What does this do? He just gets off of it.
That's right. All too easy. All of it.
Oh, so he gets on. Oh, okay. So he kicks you and he just gets on the glider. Oh, you can dive kick from it too. What the fuck? So it just does that after the glider's unavailable. Got it.
That's right.
This theme is hilarious.
Beatdown is going to go viral.
Viral is crazy. Wait, what? What did I just read? The straight up version has invincibility. So he has a DP. But he has to be on the glider. Okay. Wait, what gives him large amounts of glide gauge? Oh, it consumes a large amount. Okay. Like a jump? Yeah, it's like a jump with invincibility, but he has to be on the glider.
I can take on the world.
A rocket? The fuck was that? Okay. Razor bats. Depends on the button input. Oh, so you can just do light, medium, heavy, right? What the fuck? Okay, yeah. So you can do quadruple forward, medium, heavy, light, or medium, light, heavy. He can do whatever order he wants. Got it. Pumpkin bomb? The fuck? It's a random effect? What the fuck? What the hell? I didn't even know you could do this. A cycle of 5 in order? Wow. Sticky bomb slows. Explosion bomb obviously blows up. Wow. Poison bomb just poisons you. That one, someone threw that shit at me last bait. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is a fast overhead. Universal Oki? Interesting. This move's obnoxious. It's good that it hits him though. The fuck? Whoa. His back assist is probably one of the best back assists in the game. It's gotta be. It's so good. It goes forward and comes back. And you can send it forward and switch to him. It's really good. So you can send it forward, use a move, and then switch. Left right mix. Nice sandwich. Whoa. Wow. I didn't know it tracks. What the fuck? I'm glad I'm watching this because I'm seeing a bunch of bullshit.
What are you waiting for, Spider? It's time for our last dance.
Oh. He can put him on the glider. Put him on the glider and refill. They can put him on the glider and it refills his goblin. I mean his glider gauge. Yeah, some people's enhanced effects after the level 3 is stronger than others. That's for sure. Well, not level 3, after their ultimate. Cool combo. Okay. Boom. That carnage assist looks good. What the fuck? Those combos crazy.
What are you waiting for, Spider? Time for an explosive climax.
The fuck is happening? Carnage got a scorpion hook assist. He does. What the fuck?
Time to take out the trash. That should do it.
Okay.
The greatest, the greenest, the murder king.
Fuck is wrong with this guy, bro? Did you watch any other guides? I I did Hulk. I looked at everyone's now. There's no one that's out that I haven't looked at. I looked at everybody's in the games now. Yeah, I looked at everybody's. Okay. What a character, I suppose. Like, what? What am I even supposed to say to that? Like, what? Wait, my Street Fighter's not updated. What the hell? Alright, now, we're gonna play Street Fighter, and then after that, we're going to play... Whoa, I dropped my phone. We're gonna play... What is that shit called?